One doesn't like apple pie, says Ben is Vanna White.
If I knew the
context,
no,
you wouldn't be so offended.
Phones to off.
Yes, phones to off.
Phones to off. Atomic batteries to speed.
All right, my timer is running right now. A show we do.
Yes.
All right. Flip tabs again. Scroll on up to the top. And let's get this show on the roadway.
Scrolling on up to the rundown.
Yes. So, here we go. Coming up on Roundabout, we go back to the future with Bud Light's latest Super Bowl commercial. Special guest Bob Hall, the evil twin,
Registered trademark.
shares his top 10 favorite French cars of all time, and we debut a brand spanking new segment where our panelists become product developers. What kinds of vehicles will they create? Well, you better keep on listening. Roundabout is sponsored by Advance Auto Parts. Visit our website, roundaboutshow.com, to get up to $30 off your next purchase. And, of course, by everyone's favorite online store, Amazon.com.
Amazon.com. Your turn, Bob.
Amazon.com.
Actually, your turn to read your part of the intro.
The face he was just making was...
Coming to you direct from my fortress of ineptitude, somewhere on the California coast, I'm level 150 Forza Motorsport driver Bob Hall, evil twin of 2953 Analytics Major Domo Jim Hall.
I thought it was a private continent. Anyway, I'm your host, Craig Cole.
And I'm Eric Tritko from IMAXWeb and RumbleStrip.net.
And I'm producer Ben Sanders.
This is my Peter Lorre imitation destroying my throat, but it is still a roundabout.
Hello and welcome to the Craig Cole Show, starring Craig Cole. Episode number 116. It's our weekly chat covering car culture, vehicle reviews, and some of the auto news you may have missed. And now here's your host, Craig Cole.
Thank you. You're too kind. You are too kind. Thank you. We got a great program lined up for all of you tonight. Hope you enjoy it. Got an all-star guest, of course, one of the Hall brothers.
Whoa!
We've landed another one again.
Are there three now?
Two, but we coaxed him back. He got our package of stew beef in the mail, so he decided to come back on the show.
Don't forget the gherkins.
The gherkins.
Scraping the bottom of the barrel.
That's right.
Damn, they were good, too.
Did you get, Eric, I think you sent him a bag of sauerkraut, am I right? Or to go along with the gherkins and the stew beef?
Sure.
I had the sauerkraut gold-plated to make it ganz cool, yeah?
Well, we wouldn't give you a gift if it couldn't be ganz cool. So
I would hope not, yeah.
Just keep that in mind.
Chupa Chups.
What chupacabra?
Chupa Chups.
Chupa Chups.
Ooh, grilled chupacabra. That is so tasty, I tell you. If it's eaten enough goats, it takes on the goat flavor.
Does it? Well, they don't really
Like
eat the goat so
tofu.
much as they do drill a hole in the side of its neck and suck the blood out.
Yeah, but the goat blood, people who don't have goat blood sausage miss out on something. It's very special. It's
The
very, very
minerally
special.
organ meat flavor, is that what you're talking about?
It's better, though. It's better. Jimmy. Sorry. When Jim's talking about all his Epicurean treats...
We'll talk about the French later.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Bloody hell, I'm not ready for this. That's okay. You're going to have a lot of fun tonight, boys and girls, so don't tune away. This program will be very, very good. You'll like it, I'm sure.
You mentioned it. It's a great opportunity to tease what's coming up. We got the news, of course. But after that, Eric, you're going to get to a little bit of a grinding gear, something that's been getting your dander up for a little bit of time
did
here.
It suck the goat's blood out, Eric?
Pretty close.
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty close.
Wow.
We got a highway
second.
hearsay from one of our loyalist of loyal fans. We'll get to that after the commercial break. And we got a brand new segment coming up called A Car by Any Other Name. Debut segment, first time ever here on Roundabout. So sit tight. We got a lot of great stuff coming up. But, Eric, I believe you are teed up and ready to smack this ball down the range. Get us started tonight.
Like Tiger Woods stepping up with his driver, it's a tee number 1. I'm ready to put it in the rough.
It's a par 5. You're going for the green, Eric.
So back in about 1998, there was quite a buzz when BMW first showed off its Z8 concept car, and even more so 2 years later when they brought it into production. It was very, very stylish car, very beautiful car, something BMW wasn't doing a lot of in that day. Back when I worked at UUNet and WorldCom, this is in the pre-dot-bomb world, by the way, my old boss used some of his stock options to buy a Z8. He saw it at the auto show when it was just shown as a concept car and put money down at the time.
It wasn't a cheap car either.
No, it was a $100,000 car. So when it arrived at the dealership in Ann Arbor, they didn't even want to let them take delivery of the car because, number one, they wanted it in the showroom to drive traffic, right? Obviously, that's a big thing. Number two, Sergei Fedorov had called and said he was willing to offer him $50,000 over MSRP to have that car.
Oh?
Yeah, and they were going to kick my boss some money, and he said, no, I want to take the car. So he took the car. To the best of my knowledge, he drove it about 5 or 6 times and then parked it. Now, I don't know if that's the experience of everyone else who bought it, but that was his. So anyways, let's fast forward 12 years to today, and there's now a German tuning company that's got around to playing with this rare beast. Center Tuning has gone through and done the usual bits that you'd expect. They've flashed the ECU, they've put in low restriction catalytic converters and a freer flowing exhaust, brought the suspension, wheels, and tires up to more modern equipment. 12 years in that world, quite a bit of difference. So if you were one of the lucky 5,703 people who own a Z3, well, there may not be that many left on the road anymore.
Z8.
Or I'm sorry, what did I say, Z3? Yeah, no, you wouldn't want to do a Z3.
Yeah, fewer people own Z3s, I think.
Point. Or fewer people willing to admit that they own a Z3.
Yeah.
You can get all of this fine goodness for just $25,000.
Is that all?
That's all.
Can I get 2?
Hey, but wait a minute. You could buy like 7 Z3s for that.
One
maybe
every
8
day of the week.
Yes. Fascinating. Beautiful. Well,
Beautiful
not
car.
so beautiful. Nice looking car.
I thought it was.
I'm going to sound like a retard here, but the Z8 I loved it. I thought it was cool. But for some reason, it always reminded me of like an Austin Healey. Okay, I looked at it and I saw a wonderful boulevard car, but I didn't see a very good sports car. And it may have been a great sports car, but I would love to own one. I think it's cool, but still, it's kind of like, yeah, okay, Austin Healey. I want to own Austin Healey too, because I've got a section of my driveway that hasn't got any oil on it.
Need to control the weeds in that area of your driveway?
Yeah, it keeps them sprouting up.
Just to be clear, that was $25,000 for the upgrade.
Upgrades, yes.
On top of a $100,000 car.
I'm sure
But-
probably more than that now.
Well, or maybe less. Don't mean that to be facetious, but you never can tell with resale prices. Sometimes you'd have something you think is going to be higher, and you go out and find somebody trying to get rid of one for $48,000.
Just for giggles.
Yeah, check
Look it up
one
on
of
the
those-
flea base.
Yeah.
There's a
What is
buy
it?
it now for a Z8 for $99,995, and another one for $116,500, $110,000, $129,000, $129,000, $129,500. So
That's eBay, right? What do we have on like a carsgot.com or something like that?
Yeah.
Or do we mention them by name? Auto by Tel. Sorry, Michelle. I know she's not here, but she's watching.
Well, could you buy...
She put this transistor in my spine.
Now, Bob. Now, Bob. If you wanted to buy a one-wheeled car on Auto by Tel, could you?
You'd have to check Auto by Tel Classic, okay? because the last really good single-wheeled car was back in the 30s, okay? Now, there have been new developments, of course, because this is technology that will not die, okay? Kind of like a cockroach, okay? But there was this bloke that came up with this really great idea to do a one-wheeled car, and I guess he wanted to save money on tires, so he wouldn't have to buy 3 others. But he built the thing, and it had a number. It was called the Dinosphere, or Barney Rubble supposedly called it the Dinosphere, but that might have just been Hanna-Barbera hard at work. Do we have some video of this thing somewhere, or some pictures? It has to be seen to be believed. It was like an gimbaled electric drive system put inside a big wheel, and the wheel was kind of see-through, but it was running past your face and probably making you nauseous. And I've seen video of this thing driving, and it is totally bizarre, because at first it's kind of neat. You go, wow, that's really cool. But then it brings up questions. How do you steer it? You steered it by leaning it. Oh, yeah, okay, that's good.
Sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, and it got worse because one of the videos, it's on this sand flat, and it starts bouncing.
Oh.
And, of course, when it bounces, it's not like it has one wheel off the – well, it has one wheel off the ground, but it also has all wheels off the ground, okay? And of course, remember, it's also missing suspension because it's the suspension, okay? So, it's one of those ideas that it makes sense, but maybe they've tried to oversimplify things so much it made it a little difficult, okay? But good ideas, they hang on. And so did this one. Oh, look, they had the 15-inch and the 20-inch, the Bling model, okay? Bling must have been the four-seater. But it kind of didn't go anywhere until the Japanese came, as the Japanese would do, okay? And the bloke that created Astro Boy, we all remember Astro Boy, don't we? Fine Japanese cartoon. And this guy, Osamu Tezuka, he came up with a follow-up called, in Japan, Wonder 3, or as it was called in Japanese, Wanda 3. And in the States, it was called The Amazing Three. And these were like three aliens that were kind of humanoid, but when they came to Earth so no one would recognize that they were aliens, they disguised themselves as a bunny rabbit, a duck, and a horse, as you would do. And I always wondered with the horse, like, since this was a humanoid that we would assume is somewhat more developed, if he had better control over his, well, let's not get into that. But in Wonder 3, they had this one-wheeled car, and it was the same idea, but they got rid of the problem of looking through it. It had little bubbles on the side they kind of leaned out of and steered it.
Like engine nacelles.
Yes, like engine nacelles, only different. Okay, because they were clear. And because they were from outer space, it was probably atomic powered or something, No, Japanese, it wouldn't be atomic powered. They have atomic phobia. But it would probably be powered by fish oil. So we'd never forget a thing. And now what's happened is a bloke here in the States has revived the idea. And he's taken it and he's scaled it down. The Dinospheres were kind of tall, and the one in Amazing 3 had to fit 4 people in it, the Amazing 3 and their human pal. And this is scaled down to a single-seater, and it's made smaller, and it's narrow, and he calls it I think he calls it the monocycle. And it's small in every way except it has a V8 engine.
Why does it need a V8? It's dangerous enough as it is.
Here's the Wonder 3's cosmic vehicle. Yeah, yes, I want that.
I think this
Isn't that
guy's
great?
from the Detroit area, too.
Is he?
Yes.
Okay, that would explain the V8. Okay, although, why would he do a V8 when he could put a Triton V10 or a V10 out of a Dodge with truck in it? No, that'd be cool.
The Magnum V10.
There's video on YouTube of it. Look up monocycle, and you can see one of the reasons it probably didn't go the way it should have, because there's a pretty big crash in it, and there's an
pretty
updated
horrific
video.
crash.
It is pretty horrific. It's what they used to call it in Australia, and now news on the horror road smash. There we go. There we go. He's getting ready for the horror road smash right here, but they have updated video, which is newer, and in the updated video, it's on a one roller of a dynamometer, and it's bolted to the dynamometer, so they're not taking any chances. And I wonder if it's got like a turbocharged 4 or a V6 instead of an 8 to be more economic. Or,
an EcoBoost.
No, it could be the EcoBoost motorcycle. It's one of those ideas, I think, whose time has come and passed.
Yes, I agree. Terribly dangerous. And
oh no, it's no more dangerous. It's no more dangerous than, like, pouring cleaning solvent over you and then having a couple of cigarettes. Okay, it's no more dangerous than that. Okay, you talk about dangerous. Look at that. Doesn't that look great?
Well, speaking of dangerous, there's a little kerfuffle going on in the United Kingdom of sorts over headlamps. And automotive lighting technology has come so far in the last century. Lanterns have been replaced by incandescent bulbs, which have, in turn morphed into halogen, xenon, and many other advanced technologies. Now, even LEDs brighten the road in front of us. Along the way, though, someone figured out that having a couple of low-mounted lamps could really help visibility in bad weather. The fog light was born, right? Come on, that's what they're for. Seeing under that dense layer of soup. Think about
Making me hungry.
Now, whenever I'm behind the wheel of a car and the main battery of bulbs is turned on, the fogs are always blazing as well. It's common sense, right? More light is more better. But some insurance folks in the UK think otherwise. They claim that driving with the fog lights on in good weather dazzles other motorists on the carriageway. To which I say bovine feces. They claim as many as 300,000 accidents and nearly 2 million near misses occurred in the last year because of this. Because of using fog lights in good weather? Bovine feces.
You know what I have to say to that?
What?
There are... No, I just screwed up the
You want me to jump in here?
It's a fat load.
I'm sorry. There are lies, there are damn lies, and then there are statistics.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Amen.
statisticians.
Yes.
But you know what's going to happen, okay? They're going to have draconian rules. Well, fog lights now banned in the United Kingdom. And then in 3 or 4 years, the insurance companies are saying, there have been 300,001 smashes and almost 2,000,001 near misses because cars don't have fog lights.
Well, how do you measure a near miss? Is this on camera?
Wait, if you nearly miss, don't you hit them?
Look, near misses only count in thermonuclear warfare, hand grenades, and air crashes. That's it. Nothing else.
This is just a fat trolley load of codswallop, if you ask me. What do our panelists think? And more importantly, what do you, chat room, have to say about this?
Have you ever been dazzled by fog lights?
The answer is no.
No, but I've been in positions where it would have been nice to have them because I couldn't see the front of my car.
Mm-hmm.
What you have to drink?
It actually was when I was living in the UP and it was springtime. And,
okay. Yeah, the weather there is very British, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's a section where you're driving from Marquette, which is a little bit shielded, and then you drive right along Lake Superior, and then you come off of it. And this area is just, I can't tell you, it was so bad I had no idea where on the road I was. When it cleared off, it turns out I was in the wrong. Not only was I on the wrong side of the road, I was in the far opposite lane of the wrong side of the road. That's how bad it was. You couldn't see, and I was only going like 10 miles an hour.
Ben. One doesn't like apple pie. Has actually legitimately been listening to past episodes because he says his fog lights are very cynipistic.
That's true.
That's terrifying. That he listened to all those shows.
Very mustard-like, if you will.
And we have a very lively chat room tonight. We got Scott in Cleveland joining us, too.
This is what happens with fog lights.
Let's see.
I'm dazzled.
Bedazzled. Ah.
Mein Augen.
Meine Augen.
Oh, if we
As
really
here
wanted to
they
dazzle,
tun.
we really want to dazzle the
Oh.
audience.
Oh,
Yes,
God.
I obey, Master. What is your order, Alex?
Enough of the Germans, though, Bob, because you've got an article
Master.
about the French.
He dazzled me and hypnotic me. Class 3.
We won't even get into class
That's
3.
that's the Bristol stool scale. Look it up on Wikipedia if you're curious.
We'll
We're not
leave
going
it
to
there.
explain it now. But
Smooth.
Bob called me this morning, and the first thing he says, just checking in, it was a number 2. Number 2 on the Bristol
class
stool
2,
scale.
class 2.
Look it up. Moving along, Bob, French cars, what's going on?
Well, the French have been making their very smelly cigarettes and their very tasty wines and also their very smelly cheeses and some very smelly cars for many, many years. Our buddies over at Jalopnik had a Vox Pops finding out what the most 10 quintessentially French cars were. And I, of course, looked at the list and realized that they were wrong in most areas. They're number 10. Should I do mine first or theirs?
Why don't you just run down theirs really quickly and then do yours?
theirs.
Just a top 10 list, Letterman style.
Here we go. Number 10, the 1955 Simca Weekend, which got in because it appeared in a movie. Now, does that make it quintessentially French? Let's not go there. Peugeot 205. Now, I'll explain why I didn't have it on the list. It's a very French car, but it's missing something. Or maybe it's something it had that made it French, not French. Matra endurance racers. Race cars are race cars, okay? If they have hydraulic suspension or pre-selected gearboxes, that's different. Delahaye 135 with Fagoni and Falashi coachwork. Now, the coachwork is bloody brilliant, and it is trade. Oh, I forgot the Renault 5 and Turbo 2. So forgettable a car, okay? Take what they dared to call the Le Car and put the engine midship and charge a lot of money and tell people it's great, and the Japanese love it.
Did it give it a midship smooth ride?
It sure lost hatchback versatility, that's for sure. I had a friend of mine pick me up at Tokyo Airport in one, and there was no room for the suitcase.
The turbo
but
lag was so bad about the time that you push the gas down to spool up the turbo, it would finally catch up about the time you were shutting your car off to park it. That's how bad the turbo lag was.
Incredible turbo lag, incredible. And the gearbox, I had a Renault 8, and if you read the owner's manual, it said to get off most efficiently, you must select the correct ratio from the gear bag. Okay. And it felt like a gear bag in the 5 too. I think it's in a gear. The Fagoni and Falaschi Delahaye 135 we get back to. Coach, I have one of their cars, but I'll plug in onto that later. Renault Aventime, good choice, bad positioning. Citroën DS, another good choice, bad positioning. Citroën 2CV, Traction Avant, the Citroën Traction Avant, I don't think applies because really for all of Andre Citroën's cleverness, all he did was make a better Ruxton, which was launched 4 years earlier, or a better Cord, which was launched 5 years earlier. Then we have the 2CV, the Metal Snail, and a Bugatti Type 57 SC Atlantic, which doesn't apply for a couple of other reasons that I get into when I mention mine.
Yeah, so that's Jalopnik's list.
That's Jalopnik's list, which came from the public. It wasn't the Jalopnik people. It was just what people lobbed in on, because I don't think anybody in Jalopnik would pick a 1955 Simca just because it showed up in a French movie. I had as my number 10 the Renault Frégate. Now the Renault Frégate has been forgot. Okay, this was kind of a French attempt to build a regular car. And it looked, first of all, it had an independent rear end, which was very unusual in the days. Pushrod engine. It was slow. It was heavy. It looked like a second car was bolted onto the back of the first car. It didn't quite fit. But the styling was very American. And as we all know, the French despise anything American, but they make their car look American. So what can you say about that? Hey, it makes it very French.
French.
The next car was a Renault Dauphine. Now, the Dauphine is very interesting because in 1961, I believe, the Renault Dauphine, that's another Frégate. Oh, boy, I tell you, I get excited looking at that.
Well, make sure you're seated then, Bob.
Yeah, it's a fine idea. Oh, there's more Frégates. Color. In color. But the Dauphine. Now, the Dauphine was Renault's volume car. And it launched in the mid-50s as their anti-Volkswagen. And in some respects, it was vastly superior to the Volkswagen. It had 4 doors. You could get in and out of it. And in other respects, it had a heater.
Wasn't designed by the Nazis.
No, that's right. It was designed by collaborationists against it. But the Dauphine was the car they decided to push in the States, and they made a new hood for the Dauphine because the headlights were in it. And they had U.S. legal headlights, and they all had a sticker on the inside that said "Special USA" with an American flag on it, you know. And the Dauphine was the best-selling import car, I think, in 1961 and 1959. It actually beat Volkswagen. And the way that Renault did that was they had a lot of dealers. It was very hard to be a VW dealer. You had to buy a bunch of parts and have a service department. To be a Renault dealer, you had to buy like 5 cars and a bucket full of parts.
So I could sell Renaults.
You didn't?
I wasn't born yet, but I would have. It's a great home-based business opportunity.
That's right. Better than Amway, okay? And but the Dauphine was basically, they used to give them away on game shows, like a thing called Say When. And Art James did commercials. They had this thing, he said, the Renault Dauphine, fun to own, fun to drive, fun to repair.
Fun to say, too.
So it needed a lot of repairing. Then after the Dauphine, I threw in a thing called the Renault 8. Now, the Renault 8 was a scaled-up Dauphine, more modern, a little better, still quintessentially French. And the guy who designed it set the logo, the badge for the Dauphine offset. And even when he launched it, he said, I have offended lovers of symmetry on purpose. Well, cool. I like that attitude. That's very French. After the Renault 8, we have the Renault Ami 6. Now, again, Citroën tried to sell there's an 8 Gordini. I had an 8 Gordini, and they were actually, believe it or not, that was the French Mini Cooper, which I know sounds like a non sequitur, okay? But they handled really great for a frightening car that had like 90% rear weight bias, okay? They were fun to drive. It was challenging. If you could drive that, you could drive anything. They were good cars, actually, in spite of the fact they were Renaults. But
ahead by our Renaults.
Damn right. Then you have Citroën Ami 6. Now, Citroën launched the 2CV in 1948, which we'll get to later, but they spent years trying to make the 2CV pretty, and nothing worked. And in the Renault Ami 6, or Citroën Ami 6, they tried to make it pretty and bigger. And the Ami 6 failed as only a French car could. It was one of the first cars with rectangular headlights, okay? But they weren't kind of square, they're kind of elliptoid and soggy at the end.
Elliptoid? Wouldn't the Gram 37 Gram have square headlights?
Yes, it did. They're very attractive too. I like them. And yes, but the R8 also had a reverse angle rear window like the old Anglia and like certain Mercuries did in the 60s. Now, one thing we were interesting, there were 2 pins in the deck lid. And I always wondered what they were. They fit in little rubber sockets, so it would hold the trunk up instead of having an interior trunk support. Only the French. Only the French. Then I had the Panhard 24 CT. Now, people are going, huh? Panhard was a French company.
Never heard of it.
They pretty much created the automobile in France, a very early automaker. And they built some interesting things like the Panhard Dynamique of the 30s, which had a big 6-cylinder sleeve valve engine, and the driver sat in the center. Okay, and it was streamlined. It looked kind of like it was a Chrysler Airflow done by a man who was having a very bad acid trip.
You had me at sleeve valve.
Oh yeah, it is fantastic. Panhard, I think it was called the Dynamique. Okay, but the 24 CT was a car that was probably the size of a Cortina, and it was très sportive, and it was powered, as only the French would do, by an 850cc 2-cylinder engine. Okay, Panhard was bought by Citroën. It was very lightweight. It was actually fun to drive. I had a friend in France I knew who drove one, and it was great. But
it kind of looks like a DS.
Yeah, well, they got the idea for the DS headlights from that. That's because they purchased them before that. Now I've got the Panhard one, or the Talbot 150C, or Talbot Lago as they're known. This was the same guys that did that Delahaye. I don't know if the picture will come up, but it was a outfit called Figoni Falaschi. The Italians make a big deal about being the style kings, but in actual fact, the Italian coach builders were rank amateurs. They were kind of mouth-breathing bozos before World War II.
Hey.
Because the guys that were the leaders were the French, okay? And they were doing this unbelievably evocative, just fantastic stuff. And the nickname of these Talbot, they were called water drop coupes, and they built a bunch of them, no two alike, which probably had to do with the fact they had wine at lunch. But and they were hand-built. But they were this was like the ultimate très French car. And somebody says, well, why not a Bugatti, the Atlantique? Well, the Atlantique, one of the problems Bugatti had is Bugatti sold more to Englishmen, and they were more English. The Atlantique was an attempt to do it, but nobody did it like the Figoni and Falaschi blokes. The cars are just spectacular. Now we get into the Citroën 2CV, and why the 2CV didn't get up front is it's too well known, okay? It's too well known, and everybody knows it. Everybody says it's French. It is very French. It's a cool car, and you have to admire any car that for 4-wheel independent suspension does it with only 2 springs.
I was going to ask you, they had these sort of weird suspension arms, and it would self-level mechanically, wouldn't it?
But there was a weird delay. When my brother was running GM's Skunk Lab, they had a Duchevaux out in California, and I drove it for a week. And my brother-in-law are in it, and we go to pick my wife up from her hair appointment, and we pull into this parking spot and park, and there's a mirror glass window in front, and the car is sitting at about a 12-degree angle, just sitting there. And it does that for about 5 seconds, then it goes, bloop. We couldn't stop laughing. And my wife saw it. She goes, I damaged the car. No, the 2CV was neat, and I would love to own one, but, it was at its best a 602cc horizontally opposed twin.
Yeah, I was reading the Wikipedia article, and it was fascinating. It was designed you could drive it through a plowed field with a basket of eggs on the front seat, and it was designed to ride so smoothly the eggs would not break.
And Craig, it rode beautifully, but we'd drive that car in L.A., and you'd be on freeways, and you'd say, I didn't realize there's a hill here. You just didn't know, because it's like, oh yeah, there's a 2% grade here over
Isn't
about
that what
3 miles.
The name was? Is 2 taxable horsepower?
Yeah, the French called displacement taxable horsepower. That's where it gets, and it started out. I think it was like 300 some or 400 some cc. That's the original prototype, which had a hand crank. They hid it from the Nazis. The Nazis wouldn't copy it. Now think about it. These are the guys that did the V16 auto unions. They're going to copy that.
Yeah.
Only the French would believe that. Okay?
Well, and I read the engine had no gaskets either. They had it super machined, and then all the mating surfaces would be so tight, no oil could leak out. Plus, the opposed pistons would create a vacuum, and they had a little reed valve in the breather, so it was always vacuum in the crankcase.
There was some really, really neat technology. And in one of the Bond films, I think it's Spy Who Loved Me, there's a car chase with one. No, Octopussy, but one of the Bond films is a car chase at the start. And what's neat is they took it and they were able to put 1.5-liter Citroën GS air-cooled 4-cylinder engines in them. And apparently they went like the clappers. Now they had the skinny tires and they handled well because the suspension was unbelievably good. You could corner this thing flat out, which of course was like 50 miles per hour. but it just leaned like buggery, but it stuck. It was a brilliant little car. It's my Australian time.
It leans like a synonym for sodomy.
Absolutely. Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? You know? But no, number 2 for me, the Renault Avantime. Now, the Avantime is kind of a, it's like, imagine somebody built a 2-door hardtop MPV. So, it was just like a series. It was more of an answer to a question nobody asked than the Murano Cabriolet. I know that's hard to believe, but it was a full hardtop. It was like completely pillarless, okay, frameless side glass, and it was done recently. It was even now. I'm going to. One of the reasons to me these cars are quintessentially French is they didn't sell too well anywhere outside of France. Okay, some of the other cars, the Dauphine is probably the exception, but some of the other cars we're mentioning here sold pretty well outside. But the Avantime didn't even sell in France. Okay, it was in production 2 years, and they pulled the pin on it. Okay, and it could be argued maybe it was in production 2 years too long. The last car is Citroën DS.
Oh yes, the goddess.
The goddess, and the DS could have been even weirder than it was, because the original DS was going to have horizontally opposed 4- and 6-cylinder engines. Now think about this. We're talking Subaru SVX flat 6 kind of thing. Let me push rod, of course. And at the end of the day, they were faced with a problem. They could make the hydraulic system work, or they could make the engines work, but they couldn't make them both work. So they just put the 1934 engine in it, and history was made. But the DS to me is very, very French. You know,
it's stunningly beautiful. It's got all this technology.
Yep. And it's real funny because you have to put yourself into context. That was launched in 1955. Went on sale in 56. You know, disc brakes, hydraulic suspension, ride that would make an American car, you know, just basically die because the thing rode so nicely. Have you ever ridden in one?
I have not. John McElroy actually owns one. He's got I don't know, it's an American one, a 63. Yeah, it's a blue.
Hold on a minute.
Uh-oh.
Excuse me. Yeah, McElroy. Okay. I just have to talk to one of my friends. Allard B. Fillmore, home for the criminally ignorant. Sorry,
here's a
joke.
Bob, here's a question for you.
Yes.
He's on the phone, though. I better wait. Anyway, so your brother is a big Tatra 603 fan. So
Yes.
Tatra or Citroën DS?
Well, see, Jim might be a Tatra 603 fan.
Yes.
I am one of the 2 last journalists to drive a Tatra new model on this planet. I drove a T700, and it was awesome. I mean, it basically it broke the zipper in my pants. Okay. the Tatra T700 was like driving a 5,300-pound 911. And
With
there's
4 doors.
There's a photo of me that they used for the article in Wheels. And I'm starting to countersteer it a little bit. And the art director loved it because he said, you can see a look of terror in your face. It was bloody brilliant. Awesome. It was great. And it was just fantastic. 603 is great. But 603 is great. And you can have, you know, a pleasant journey in one, or whatever it is, journey. You know, but no, 603, great Citroën. I would probably pick the Tatra for a very obscure reason. Citroën DSs are great to own if there's a good Citroën mechanic within walking distance. Because of the hydraulics and such, they're if you got a guy, and there's a place called Challenger Motors in Los Angeles. I don't know if they're still there. They could do them, and they could keep them running. And if I owned one, I'd move near there. Okay.
You'd move near there?
I'd move near there so my DS could be kept on the road. But the Tatra for pure freakish value is great.
But how do you fix the Tatra when it breaks?
It doesn't break because it's socialist.
Okay. And on that note, we have to move along. But, Bob, I am amazed at your encyclopedic knowledge of all of these cars. It is stunning how much you know and can just throw out there like that.
Yes. Well, I'll try. I try my best.
You have the same photographic memory as your big brother, Jim.
No, it's different. He remembers things I don't. So collectively, we're actually the source of protein genius. No, in my case, it'd be caloric genius because my weight.
Anyway, we got Eric, your grinding gears is coming right up, but we got to talk about Bud Light's Super Bowl commercial.
Woohoo!
Yes, I know. Back to the Future.
Best movie ever!
I agree. And I will never turn down a news article dealing with this holy trinity. But this time, Bud Light is going for a little flux capacitor action with its latest Super Bowl spot, which apparently leaked onto the cyber tubes. Imagine that. That doesn't happen.
Call a plumber.
I know. And anyway, it features a group of guys in an auto repair garage and, of course, a hopped-up DeLorean, as you'd expect. Long story short, one of the guys disappears with the time machine, forever altering the time warp continuum.
Great Scott!
I know. But as Doc Brown would say, it's dangerous to know too much about the future, which is a little bit ironic because the fine folks at NBC and Universal thought it would be a great idea to pull this 30-second spot from YouTube, which is set to air on Sunday or yesterday if you're listening to this next week when we time travel. Anyway,
I've got a question for you, Craig.
Meow.
Which is the best of the three?
Oh, it's not the third one. I know that. It's got to be the first one. He's
I think
back
a
in
lot
the
of people
50s.
actually favor the third one.
Well, they're wrong.
Well, I don't. I like number 2.
Number one.
I like number 2 also, Ben. I agree.
I like
two is
number
cool.
one, although it can be a little hard and like
Speaking
nuts.
of number 2, we'll be back.
Which class?
Give us a rating afterwards. You there. What is your report?
I like number one, but for the movies, not the scale. So
Okay. Yeah, number 1's painful. The movie is.
it can
Yeah,
be
okay.
other things as well. Anyway, wah wah, and I can hear it now. Where we're going, we don't need enthusiastic fans watching videos about our products.
Buttheads.
I know. So Back to the Future pulled. Look for it during the Super Bowl or a little bit after. Probably back on YouTube again. Anyway,
When you did see it, was it humorous?
I thought it was pretty funny.
Pretty good.
It was pretty good, Ben.
Did it adhere to the canon?
Yeah, as far as I could tell, yes.
Okay.
All right.
That's all I care about.
All right, good. Eric, something's got your dander up here.
Yeah.
We're doing a little segment. It's called Grinding Gears.
It's called Grinding Gears. There we go.
Is that a jammed fax machine?
I think it's Ben learning to
Drive-
drive the Camaro.
Yes, Camaro. Ben learned to drive a stick in a Camaro SS. Oh, the lovely smell of clutch burning up.
Ouch.
Yes. Eric, what's pissed you off this week?
Well, if we go back to an earlier Roundabout show,
Which one doesn't like apple pie is bravely doing.
okay, we talked about our predictions for the year, and I had launched into a light diatribe about my predictions for the Chinese auto market, and automakers may be thinking about pulling out just because things are getting a little ridiculous. And for those people who do follow the auto industry know that the Chinese government wants you to start handing over all of your technology as part of these partnerships, which is a whole subject we'll wait for another Grinding Gears.
Sharing is caring.
So one of the things that has been the Chinese are famous for is stealing intellectual property.
Borrowing.
Sorry. The Chinese are great at copying, not so much at original art, shall we put it. And this is no more apparent than what became very public this week, is Chinese automaker JAC, not just once, but twice with pickup trucks, has taken the intellectual property of a U.S. automaker. First, it was revealed that they have a truck that looks exactly like the Ford F-150, the modern day, the current version. And then about 2 days later, due to some Autoline Daily enthusiasts, it comes out. They also have a carbon copy of the current Chevy Colorado. Now, really.
Who would copy the
Dodge
Colorado? Really?
Well, I'm wondering if it comes with the same 6-cylinder engine that they took into the cylinder off and made from a great
They
engine.
took a great engine to a terrible
crappy
one,
engine,
yes.
right? Exactly. This goes into my whole point of everyone wants to sell and build in China, and I ask you why? Are you really that into your short-term profits that you're willing, the cutting off your nose to spite your face kind of thing? Yes, you're taking a payment today for a hamburger on Tuesday. The problem is that the Chinese government shows more and more that they are becoming much like two Central European countries circa 1935-37 with a type of economy where the government is very heavy-handed, the military sort of controls a lot of stuff.
Secret police.
Yeah,
Crony capitalism, dissenters disappear.
Belgium and San Remo.
Exploitation of foreign lands that they tend to go in and...
They're borrowing. They're sharing.
Yes. I want to say indentured labor.
Very diplomatic.
Yes. So I will just caution people, while all this enthusiasm for the Chinese market is understandable for, a middle class in China that is the same size as the population of the United States, there certainly does seem to be a lot of oil for the lamps of China to be sold. However, the Chinese are long-term planners. They don't care about the quarter or the year or the decade. They plan 50 and 100 years ahead of time. And I'm telling you, the last 20 years have moved very quickly. Be careful about the next 20 and what might end up happening.
So some words of wisdom.
Just saying,
from Mr.
intellectual
Crypto.
property. You think intellectual property theft is bad now? Just wait.
Well, I mean, it's you raise a lot of good points. When I was at the Gilbert and Sullivan Car Company in Malaysia, they had this big push to get into China. Okay, and I was the lone voice saying, "Why are we doing China, guys? The market's overheated. The government's going to compress it. They're going to do God knows what else." So why don't we use India? No, don't want to use India. Want to use China. India makes far more sense. Okay, if you're going to hop in, but China, it's a short-term profit. There's no doubt about it. But the thing that's funny to me, in a maybe a sick kind of fun, in 50 years, okay, there'll be some guy who's starting the Nigerians are doing their new car company, right? And they're copying a Chinese car, and the Chinese are saying, "How you dare do that? Why do you copy anything like that? That's the most miserable thing you're doing is to copy our stuff." It's going to happen.
It's a Fiat 124.
Or the Cherry QQ with the doors that bolt right up.
It's a cookbook. No, sorry.
Wrong episode.
The other thing I still have to finish doing the math on is how it makes sense to take less than 50 cents on the dollar in a joint venture than to pay the extra taxes to import. Now, obviously it does, but for how much longer is a good question.
So, thank you, Eric. Your gears are ground into dust now. You got to use the clutch first. Just remember. Anyway,
That's the secret.
that's the secret.
If only you
guys,
told me.
Hang on, Eric. I know what to get you for Christmas. I'm going to get you a DSG.
Do they make one that holds up to 600 horsepower in the Mustang?
Well, we'll have to find
Can.
out. Anyway,
Transmission will weigh more than the engine. That's a minor problem.
we will be right back with more of Bob Hall, the legend, the man. He's on the line right
where?
now. Plus, Eric Tritko.
Oh, shit.
And a brand new segment, as I promised.
I was about to say you thought the Ford Power Shift transmission had problems now.
Put it behind the Mustangs 5.0. Big trouble. But sit tight. We got to thank our friends at Amazon.com. Amazing. Amazing grace.
They are amazing.
I know they are. Visit our website, RoundAboutShow.com. We're asking you to go there. There's a banner ad at the top of the page. There's also one in the right-hand sidebar. But we are asking you to click on that before you purchase anything online. Amazon sells so many millions of products. People are buying stuff from them all the time. We're asking that you think of us first. Go to our website, RoundAboutShow.com. Follow the Amazon banner ad. We'll get a little credit for all of the items that you purchase from them. You're helping us out. We're helping you by giving you a quality program every week. Pay it back.
We don't ask much.
Just pay it forward a little bit. Pay it forward back to us.
Exactly.
So, we like to highlight a product that is available via Amazon every week. And today, what we have is a BBK short throw shifter. It is a 2700 Plus Pro billet model, which fits the T5 and T45 transmissions. Are those good gearboxes, Bob?
They are great gearboxes. They're best in the world.
Are they?
That's what I've been told.
By whom? Well, it doesn't matter. I trust them.
Noted people.
Noted people.
Noted authority.
Authorities of note.
Authorities of
That's
note.
right.
So, yes, this is one of the millions of items available on Amazon. Automotive themed. You can get books, oil, shifters like this, other auto parts, and of course music, movies, CDs, you name it. It's on Amazon.com. And in this instance, the BBK short throw shifter, $180. It's yours. Does this qualify for Prime, though, Ben?
Well, let me look. Oh, there's this little blue icon. It says Prime, and it's got a yellow check mark. That means it is. But what is Prime? I just don't know.
Well, I understand.
Well,
you
we all want to know. Please tell us.
Well, good question,
Those are the
Bob.
best cuts of meat.
Yes, they are. USDA Prime.
I've been eating nothing but commercial. No wonder we've got class 3.
Well, he's stressed out. His bowels are angry, revolting. Anyway.
Oh, you're killing me.
I better bow out at this one.
So, Amazon Prime, you pay, what is it, $80 a year, Ben?
$80 a year.
And that gets you basically free 2-day shipping, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
On select products. Which
And,
is
you,
most.
and lots of free videos.
Yep.
So sign up for it.
It's a good deal.
Can you
It
get
is.
it through roundaboutshow.com, Amazon Prime?
Sure. Why not?
Good question, me.
Click our banner and then sign up for Amazon
Exactly.
Prime. I'm
So
sure
again,
yes.
we're asking you, no, we're begging you. The next time you go to purchase something online, do it through roundaboutshow.com and Amazon. We do appreciate your help ever so much.
There's a second pick, too.
Is there? What'd you put in there?
511 tack light shorts.
This sounds terrible.
No, they're great. They're great shorts. Lots of pockets for carrying things, so that you don't have like,
Tchotchkes.
big bulging pockets for your phone and your, everything else you need. They're lightweight. In
And where did you find these, Eric?
fact, these are the same kind of material.
Oh, nice hand to the fabric there. Who recommended this product?
There would be one Mr. Andy Anatko.
And who is he?
Some computer guy.
And who is he, Eric?
He is the technology writer for the Chicago Sun-Times.
Tactical shorts.
Yeah, so we thank Amazon for their support.
If
of Roundabout Show.
I have one last question. I hate to be a bother. I know. If I wanted either of these products mentioned today, gosh, how could I find them?
They're going to be in the rundown at roundaboutshow.com.
Oh.
These are our picks of the week.
Oh, okay.
Just highlighting some of the cream that floats to the top
Well, thank
of
you.
the Amazon mill. So,
Yum.
with that, we need to move on. We've got a highway hearsay, so let's hit the road.
Highway hearsay. Tales from the open road.
Got a duet.
It's in stereo.
Which is unusual for the 1930s.
Damn right.
Listening to my wax cylinder. Anyway, Highway Hearsay is all about what we've seen out on the road, from weird sightings to the stupid things people do. And this week, we have a viewer sighting from none other than Luke Farlow. Ben, I believe you got a Google Voice call from him today. What's happening out in Colorado?
Let's listen.
Hey guys, it's Luke. I just wanted to tell you guys a story about what I saw when I was out today in the snow that we're getting, about a foot, and we're
It snowed
supposed
in
to
Colorado?
get another
Really?
foot by tomorrow. But I was driving down the highway, and I saw a white Chevy Cobalt with a gas pump and handle and hose still attached to it. I just thought that was the funniest thing. I mean, I've seen it in movies and stuff, but I've never seen it in person.
Talk about gas and
They're
go.
just, aimlessly driving down the road and unaware. So I'll talk to you guys later this afternoon. Bye.
Now, that's something you don't see every day. A complete dumbass. Oh, wait. Most people are. Anyway. No, but somebody driving off with a gas nozzle in there. I mean, you see it with the fuel door open enough, but good Lord. The whole
You know what makes
shebang.
it, makes it worse? It's a hybrid. I can see you driving out with the plug connected. Okay. Oh wait, they don't have it on that one. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I did see a electric Ford Focus this week with the charging door open.
Shocking.
Shocking. Oh, well, thank you for that, Luke. And remember, if you want to call in and report a highway hearsay, we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call on our Google Voice number, which is, what is it again? I don't have it handy.
559.
RoAB 411.
Yes,
In numbers,
1-559-762-2411. Do it.
Right.
Call stuff
Now.
Call collect or call direct, but
Yeah.
do it now.
but don't call collect. 'cause we ain't paying
Operators
for it.
are standing by.
All right. So thank you for that, Luke. Hilarious story. I've never seen that. I don't know, Bob. Have you seen that out in California?
I have heard about it, but I've never seen it.
Well, it's like seeing a
But I've-
Sasquatch, I guess.
Exactly the same, or seeing a taxi cab.
Anyway, on to the next segment, our brand new one that we promised you, a car by any other name. You didn't have any music planned, did you,
No.
Ben? No, I didn't.
I
think
just
so.
expected you would read this in a
Music-
hoity-toity British accent.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Isn't it now?
No.
Oh.
What's in a name? That which we call a Ford Transit Connect by any other name would still smell like dog food? Yes,
that a
that's
question?
right. I'm not sure. There's not a question mark at the end.
You made it sound like a question.
Smell like dog food?
Hmm?
Yes, that's right. It's time for Roundabout's newest game where we name the cars and you do the rest. We call it a car by any other name. In
Hey
each
guys, hang on a minute. Transit Connect smells like pickled margarine.
pickled margarine.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean
I just-
oleo?
Yeah,
Yes.
no, because our gardener uses one, and I was out there going, heck,
They're terrible smelling. They smell
I
like
thought something died.
gravy train dog food with pickled mayonnaise. Anyway, in each round of the game, Ben will announce a fictional make and model, and each panelist will take their turn describing, based only on the name, what kind of vehicle appropriately fits the moniker Ben names. For instance, if Ben were to say Langostini Clarafino, I might describe it as an Italian subcompact aimed at financially secure millennials and intended to evoke the carefree joy of an afternoon at the beach. For instance. For extra points, I might mention that it was conceived while Langostini's head of product development was at luncheon at the Red Lobster. There you go. In each round, the winner will be determined, now here's the interactive part, by the fickle hordes in the chat room, and we've got a whole bunch of them this week.
As we
Excuse me.
affectionately
Yes.
refer to them.
Yeah,
None
it's a team.
of those people are fickle. They're all brilliant geniuses, and my
Stop
best
trying to
friends.
win favor, curry favor with the chat room, Bob. I see what you're
Damn.
doing. Anyway, after each round, Ben will drop a link in the chat room so the viewers can vote. It'll be a simple little survey you can follow. So, and that'll update live on your Google Doc, and that we'll find out who has the most convincing, names each round.
Mhm.
So, what do you say, chaps? Shall we play?
Shall we play a game?
Boop, 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 boop.
Yes.
All right, Ben.
I
What
like
is
my
round
puppy
number one?
All right, round number one is the Gentleman Coachworks Cigarone. So, describe the Gentleman Coachworks Cigarone. We start with Craig Cole. Craig?
Gentleman Coachworks has a long and proud history of building motor cars in the British Midlands. The Cigarone is aimed at folks that have an affinity for tweed jackets and fine chewing tobacco. It is a car of an exceptionally long wheelbase as well to deliver the smoothest ride possible over Britain's pockmarked post-World War II pavements. And it is trimmed with luscious eucalyptus timber throughout the interior, and it features legendary quality as well. This company hand builds the vehicles so that everyone has the necessary checks in place before it hits the motorway, and they're just a stand-up company. They've got gentlemen in the name. You
good-
can trust a gentleman.
It's a good point. Thank you, Craig. Eric, the Gentleman Coachworks Cigarone.
Well, the Gentleman's Coachworks Cigarone is an extended wheelbase vehicle. It is also a tall roofed vehicle that is meant to be driven by the non-owner, because in the back is an extended area where there are lights and drinks and scantily clad ladies.
The nightclub on wheels.
You've heard of a gentleman's entertainment club. Now we introduce the gentleman entertainment automobile.
Very well.
Very well. And now, Mr. Bob Hall.
Hold on. Herman the German calls it the Bristol Crimper. And that's our episode title right there.
That's
Let me
right.
just-
We got a title for the episode, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm a little amazed that you guys, with all your background, would get this one so wrong. Gentleman Coachworks, everybody knows, okay, was founded by Oscar Friedman, who was one of the guys that worked at ASC for Heinz Prechter. And he had even smaller feet than Heinz did, okay? And he set up Gentleman Coachworks downriver, okay? And they make a retro car. What he did is he was always impressed by the old Clanay. Remember that? The fake roadsteroid thing built in a Continental chassis? He decided the better car to do would be to do one of these retro vehicles. And he's using the basis. He's got a Ford 500 underneath it. And the body is designed to look like a cross between the Bugatti Atlantique we saw earlier and a 1953 Henry J. He's got his money from the American Tobacco Company because they're really worried about tobacco sales going down. So it's using, it has a tobacco leather interior, which is brand new material. It's very lightweight.
I forgot to mention it's powered by tobacco. It's earth friendly. Anyway, sorry, Bob.
It won't help you now. And the Cigronet, of course, has created great acclaim from all the Ford 500 owners who want something different. And a lot of these people actually remember the Henry J, so they're very enthusiastic about it. While the Classic Car Club of America has been dismissive, as they were with the original Clanay, because it looked like a tasteless cheeseball car. And of course, by being Gentleman Coachworks, nobody realizes he's just downriver. He's outside Flat Rock, a few yards.
All right, Ben.
All right, so now I'm going to put into the chat room the place where you can vote. So
Vote.
Chat room, go at it. Go at
vote
it.
for me, or I'll run over
Who
your
do you
dog.
think had the most convincing tale? Let's see.
How much time do they have to vote, Ben?
So far we have got 1 vote for Craig.
Yes!
We've got 2 votes for Craig, 1 vote for Bob.
Bullshit!
Well, careful there, Craig.
God swallow.
We've got 3 votes for Craig, 2 votes for Bob, and 2 votes for Eric. 7 total votes. Any more?
Hang on, I've got to vote for myself.
Oh, bullshit!
What's that URL again?
We've got
Give me the URL, quick.
4 votes for Craig, 2 votes for Bob, 2 votes for Eric. I think
at least I didn't go, throw a goose egg up.
Eric, I think this is rigged.
With 50% of the votes.
I think we're going to call it. Roundabout is prepared to call.
Florida.
Wait, has the Florida Panhandle vote come in yet?
No, they've got hanging chads in their trousers.
Dangling chads.
That's right. But you have to be real careful how you sit.
Polls are closed.
We're going to call this round for Craig Cole.
Craig won.
Craig won.
Deservedly so. Stellar performance, if I don't say so myself. Anyway, great round, guys. See how that worked? Randy Sec, but it runs on tobacco.
It's a smoking automobile.
And I should get half a vote for that because you didn't even think about it until I said my tobacco seats.
All right, are we ready for round 2,
And he said
gentlemen?
that wouldn't help me.
Ready as will
Little
never
did
be.
he know.
What
All right.
order do we still go in the same order, Ben, for round 2?
Unless you think we should reverse it.
I don't know.
I was planning to go the same order.
Well, whatever.
Okay. Round 2.
All right.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Here's round 2. The Hento Falcourt, with an E at the end.
Falcourt. Well,
The Hento Falcourt. Craig?
This is an Italian car. Hento Motors has been around. Similar history to Gentleman Coachworks, but obviously further south and east in Europe from the British archipelago. Hento is centered in the Piedmont. Used to be their factory was built on vineyard lands where they used to grow Montepulciano grapes and whatnot. So there's a rich heritage there as well. Not of tobacco.
They don't grow those grapes in the Piedmont.
Shut up, Eric! You'll have your turn in a minute.
They grow tobacco there.
No, if I can finish, this car has a rich history of the vineyard areas of the boot of Italy, and it's just you see it in the craftsmanship of the barrel-shaped door panels, the fine purple coloring of the interior trims, and this particular vehicle, the Falcorte, is actually a wagon model that was designed to help transport. You see, the roof over the wagon area actually retracts. Like the Envoy XUV, you remember that failure? But this is a success.
Uh-huh.
That's where GM got the idea for it, in fact, was the Falcorte. Because Falcorte in Middle Italian actually
I didn't
means
even realize
retractable.
I didn't even realize I was... That's pretty good. I didn't even realize I was pronouncing it wrong. I thought it was the Falcourt, but
No,
that's
it's
just the
Falcorte.
American in me.
Falcorte.
Okay.
You see, you've got to
The
move your
French
hand when
version,
you say
the
it.
French version was the Falcourt. Okay.
Well,
Oh,
they're
got it.
wrong, Bob. Can I
Italian
finish?
was the Falcorte.
Can I finish? I think
Kenny?
the silence means yes. So, just proud heritage. It's a fun to drive wagon, very versatile with that rollable rooftop, and it's just designed for a good, smooth ride.
All right. Eric Tritko, the Hento Falcorte, or Falcourt,
Well, he
depending
may-
on where you buy it.
Well, obviously, Craig's very good with his geography since he has grapes from one region growing in a completely different region. So let's go to yet one more region.
Would you be happy with Sangiovese?
Again, those don't grow in the Piedmont.
Nebbiolo. I'm out of ideas. That's all.
Actually, the Hento Falcourt is a Spanish. Yes. Yes. And like a fine jamon.
El Jamon.
This is actually a great little car, meant for two people and a little bit, like the Falcon from which its name is derived. It is a small and swift car, tight in its handling, and efficient as well, because it is the quintessential opposite of Spain itself.
Efficient.
Fast moving and efficient.
And are you finished?
I'm finished.
Eric has said his piece.
All right.
He's wrong, but he said his piece.
Bob Hall, the Hento Falcourt, or Corte.
How could you guys get this so wrong? Everybody knows that Hento is a Japanese company. The Hento Motor Company, just outside of Fukushima. The Falcourt was the most expensive motor in the range of Hento. And Hento also used to make a kind of a Japanese comic story called the hentai. But they got out of that business. It was not fashionable. So they built an automobile. And Falcourt name means nothing. Like most of Japanese names, it is just some syllable that can be pronounced by Japanese. And then they come up with a meaning afterwards. And the meanings that Japanese came up with for the Hento factory for Falcourt was, it was the falcon that was a cat, okay? It was a cot and the cat. So that's they got the name. And it has a very unique 5-cylinder engine with CVT. And it's extremely stylish 4-door hardtop with specialty styling. Very popular car in Japan. I think you guys must know about it. Hento motor. Very good, very good. I drive myself. All done. Finish. Number 3 again.
All right.
All right. So once again, I'm pasting a link into the chat room, and chatters, vote away.
Vote
away.
early. Vote for Craig. Vote often. Open a new browser if you have to.
Already, we've got Bob at number 1. We've got 4 votes for Bob. Craig is at 1 vote.
This isn't fair. I can't do accents. Bullshit.
I can't do TV shows, so come on. Come on, somebody vote for Eric. Let me give me the webs. I'll go and I'll vote for Eric. Okay. Come on.
Strawpoll.me
Jeez, he's just
/233.
/R.
I think this is a sweep.
Wow. Wow. Ow.
We've got Bob at 88%, Craig at 13%.
88% an hour.
Where's my flux capacitor? Sorry. Where's my flux capacitor?
Oh. Well,
there it is.
Have the polls closed?
Yeah, I think we've got all precincts reporting. This one's Bob's. Even if you whisper, I have to bleep it. So, all right, are we ready for round 2?
3.
How about 3?
3? Testing.
Yes, we're ready.
Okay.
We're awake.
Yeah.
All right. So for round 3, we have, what do we have here? The Milatel Pawnee. Famous company, Milatel, and their newest model is the Pawnee. Milatel Pawnee.
Don't they make a stomach medicine?
The Milatel Pawnee.
Craig, we start with you. Milatel Pawnee.
Well, obviously, Milatel is a proud company centered in Pawnee County, upstate New York. And with this vehicle, what they're trying to do, they're going for like an off-road type of vehicle. It's a little bit smaller than like the O.J. Simpson style Bronco, but that kind of flavor, without the blood on the driver's side door, and without having just killed 2 people.
How about gloves? Are there any gloves?
No, they didn't fit.
Okay.
The Milatel Pawnee has live axle front and rear for good off-road ability, and they're mounted to transverse leaf springs, Bob, for a smooth ride and comfortable handling out on the open road. Because let's face it, even the most hardcore off-roaders, they're not always off-road. You know, you do have to take your ute around to go to the grocery store, to visit a cousin's funeral, whatever the case may be. You've got to take it elsewhere, and you're not always off-road. So that's where the Milatel Pawnee comes in. It's just got that magic carpet ride, but the off-road ruggedness that people have come to expect from Milatel. They have a strong heritage, you know. And I know I keep bringing up heritage in each of these rounds.
It's well known.
But really, these companies, Ben, are just stand-up organizations. They are all just, they've been around for decades, nigh on a century in some instances. And they just
so badass.
I know. I couldn't have said it better than Sullivan there. So Milatel Pawnee, off-road Bronco-style vehicle, rugged but smooth. It's like I'm trying to think of a boxing glove for toughness, but yet it's like sliced ham because it's tender and delicious.
Are we getting back to jamon?
We're done.
Okay.
I've said my piece. It's
Thank
a tough
God.
one.
Thank God.
Do you have your sound effects queued up there, Ben?
I've got some.
Okay. I think we need a Zach Bowman buzz that bleep for that, because Craig is just so wrong.
How about...
That'll work too.
That was 0.
Yeah, my shoe.
No, that was in 7, wasn't it?
Got on my shoe.
Got his shoe through Skype.
Crikey.
All right, round 3, Eric. The Milatel Pawnee.
Craig, you are so wrong. This is a brand new Canadian company from Ontario.
Niagara, Ontario.
This is Canada's attempt to reboot their own internal auto industry, the once proud auto industry.
E-tier, Monarch.
This is a 21st century vehicle for 21st century Canada, meaning it is efficient, used to dealing with shortages. It is an environmentally friendly vehicle built with many recycled materials. Canada's efficient in its power use. They use hydro, and they sell off all that nasty fossil fuel to all the other countries while using clean fossil fuel. The Pawnee, in the Canadian tradition of clean and efficient energy, is an electric hybrid vehicle built for plugging in to the hydroelectric system of Canada for low cost, highly efficient, environmentally friendly power. This is a car that you can feel proud as a Canadian to drive and show off to all of your friends. It
Who are also Canadian.
Yes, and it comes in red and white as its 2 main colors.
Wow, what a great car.
Exactly.
All right.
So the Pawnee, a 21st century car for a 21st century nation.
Beautiful, Eric.
That's very well
That's
said.
beautiful.
I'm going to vote for Eric in this round because that was.
I'm like a Native American tearing up in an old PSA. Anyway, Bob Hall, the Milatel Pawnee.
I don't know what to say. You know, first of all, I think I've been sent here and brought here on false pretenses. I think you said these are non-existent cars. They all exist. Okay, what are you talking about? Milatel. Okay, didn't you guys just aren't up to it, I can see. Milatel is, and Michelle was involved in this car. Milatel as a company is a spin-off of Autobytel. Okay.
I thought it was from
they
Mattel.
No, they decided Mattel are involved in it, but they're involved in this because they got tired of these other websites starting up like Cars.com and these auto traders. So they decided, look, we're going to make a car, okay? And the name Pawnee came because the founder was checking around and he had a pawn ticket in his pocket because he had pawned his jacket or something, and he realized that he was the Pawnee or the pawner. So they just tossed that on, and Milatel was originally written M-I-L-E. But when they went to the registration office, that had been taken by an outfit that made a very, 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 very famous amphibious bus. And so they changed it to MAIN. It's figured nobody would know the difference, and it's a modern. It's the 1980s car for the 21st century. Okay, it's got a low output pushrod V8 with a very inefficient single point fuel injection system. It's probably about 40% overweight, and it's got a vinyl top. Okay, so there's a lot of people out there that want that car. Most of them older than even I am. Okay, and that's the Milatel Pawnee, just the first of the new cars that will be available only online.
Beautiful. All
Well
right.
said.
I'm dropping the link in the chat
All
room.
right.
Chat room.
Straw
vote
poll.
away.
We need a
Vote.
sound effect of something dropping. Clunk.
It says I've already voted in this poll, Ben. Did you paste the wrong one in?
I don't believe so. Folks.
If it's another 4-1, I'll take it. No. Let's give it to Eric.
Gorski C says all 3 of these are horrible. Well, you can go screw yourself, Gorski, because we're trying to further automotive knowledge here.
Now, Gorski, I'm just going to point out, they're not supposed to be desirable vehicles necessarily. It's just supposed to be an accurate story. So, it could be an awful vehicle.
Mhm.
But if it fits the name, you must have quit or something. I can't rhyme. So, I think we've got all precincts reporting again.
Wouldn't let me vote.
Oh, I just saw it changing. It's moving around on my
Oh.
screen.
It's moving. It's moving.
Bull roar.
I've got who wins round 3, and we've got 50% of the vote for Bob, 25% for Eric, and 25% for Craig.
How does that feel, Craig?
Hold on. Randy Seck voted for ham.
Ham. Oh, okay. I agree.
Ham wins.
Ham wins every
Ham.
time. Bacon beats ham, though. What if you
Oh yeah,
could do
'cause
like
it's smoked.
No,
And-
prosciutto beats everything.
no? You could do prosciutto, ham, and bacon like a rock paper scissors.
No, pancetta. Because pancetta is like the best of prosciutto and bacon all in one.
This is true.
Agree to disagree. Round 4. What have you got cooking up here, Ben?
All right. Round 4 is none other than the Wharton Motors Hartall 5VI.
Oh, a fine Hungarian company. Wharton Motors. Yes.
I believe you're ready to go then.
They're based in the outside of the suburb of Bucharest, and their Hartall 5VI is their attempt at doing a shooting brake, a sort of a sports coupe, grand touring sports coupe. It was built during the 1980s. I think it first came out in 81. Might have been late 81 or early 82. Really took the communist bloc by storm, as I remember. It was a very popular car amongst the Politburo members. Featured under the hood, it was a 2.8-liter four-cylinder engine, single overhead cam, Bob, single overhead cam with 3 valves per cylinder. It used what's known as a power thrift dual-stage economizer knuckle to stretch each liter of fuel, each litra of petrol, if you will, as many kilometers as possible. And
We
this
looked
was
at that when I was at Mazda.
You what now?
We looked at that component when I was at Mazda.
Well, it's a great idea. It atomizes.
Oh, yeah.
It further atomizes the fuel by forcing it through. Basically, it's a piece of cotton.
I thought it was cheesecloth. The one that showed us was cheesecloth.
Well, they changed it over the years as they had shortages of materials. So
okay.
it could have been an old piece of carpet they salvaged, But the idea was to really break up that fuel mist and really get it to burn in the power thrift engine. So, communist-themed styling. Again, 2-seat, 2-door. You've got jump seats in the back, but I still call it a 2-seat because you can't really put anyone back there, at least not if they're alive, because it's not very comfortable. But the Hartall 5VI, it was a sports car for people that were equal, was their slogan. I'm done.
Eric. The Wharton Motors Hartall 5VI.
Well, as you know, the Wharton Motors Wharton Motors, as one knows, was founded by the scion of the family who founded Samsung in Korea, who was also a graduate of the Wharton School of Business, and therefore took that home and drew inspiration from his education in the United States, and created a new motor company. The Hartall is actually Korean for swift. And what this is, the 5VI is the Swift VI is the Rally Car Edition for Wharton Motors. In fact, this will be being entered in the WRC Rally Series. The Wharton, the Hartall 5 VI is revolutionary in that it is even lighter weight than its competition. It weighs in at just 2,300-pound curb weight with a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine with 350 horsepower, 4-wheel drive. Ready to go at a moment's notice. The Hartall 5V will be winning championships in 2012.
All right. Third and final, Mr. Bob
He has
Hall.
an advantage here. He has more time
just
to
cherry picks.
research things. Yeah.
I asked you if you wanted to
We're shooting
reverse.
from the hip.
Yeah. It's I mean, and this one, what the heck can I say? Okay, here's another real car company. I wish this. You guys are getting lazy here. You're just picking these things that kind of disappear. You guys probably remember him. I'm certain you do. Is Robert Wharton, who was a cricket umpire, died in 1923. He set up a car company, and he was really heavily into cricket. Which is kind of like that retarded English baseball that takes 5 days to finish a game.
Mentally disabled.
Yeah, of course. And they had the bat, which is made out of this willow. His company, because of course it's all insider trading, they made cricket bats. They decided to make a car with a wooden body. Hartall was the name of his son, who was the designer of it, and he was about 14 when he did it. Wharton Motors built, I think, over the company's existence, they existed from 1921 to 1923. I think they built 2 cars. And the 5VI, they named it the 5VI to make people think they had built probably 3 more than they actually had. So that was, the VI was in fact the serial number of the car. It's very low production. But it had this exotic body. What they did was, the running boards, instead of having rubber on it, they had turf on it from a cricket pitch. And they even had the little stumps in it stuck in, so you could actually play cricket on the side of the car. And this was the idea. And they thought it would take Britain by storm, but they were too busy with things like Morris Minor, so they just didn't care and said, "Oh, take a hike and bull stuff. We'll see you later." So they're in the Montague Motor Museum in Bewley, as the British pronounce Bayou.
Very good.
I love it.
Get into the chopper.
All right, and I have dutifully pasted the next voting link into the chat room, so please vote early, vote often. Oh, Eric is in
off
the
to a storming
early
lead. 75% of the votes going for Eric. 67.
Are you pasting these with Wilhold or Borden's Blue All, Elmer's Blue All?
Well, I prefer Elmer's school paste.
Flour.
School paste.
It's a flour and water concoction.
Okay, got it. I just wondered, he's pasting them in. And,
Yeah. So we've got definitely Eric in the lead on
Yes.
this one at 71% of the vote. Craig at 14. Bob at 14.
Take that, Bob.
Oh, I can handle it. I like it.
Clearly,
This is where I
Bob
usually
and Craig voting for themselves. That's
Naturally.
Whoa, what's going on?
Oh.
Now we've got Eric at 5.
Somebody
Craig
likes
at 2.
it when Craig
Bob
gets
at
the
1.
capital of Hungary wrong. Yes.
Yeah, you actually had Romania.
I know.
I wasn't going to say anything. I thought it'd be disingenuous and people would think I was taking advantage of you.
You were pulling a Newt Gingrich.
So once again, Craig, your geography
thanks a
is
lot.
suspect.
Well, congratulations, me again. Great work.
Wait, more votes coming in. So now we've
I
got
think the polls are closed, Ben. The polls were closed minutes ago. You know that. I know that.
got
I
Eric.
haven't had a chance to vote for myself yet.
We've got Eric at 56%, Bob at 22, and Craig at 22%. But I think
Is that 2 words like they say in Britain, percent?
percent.
Okay.
Exactly. But at this time, the precincts have closed, and we must call it for Eric Tritko. Ding, ding, ding.
Eric the Tritko carried the day. All right, Ben.
Definitely.
What are we doing?
He carried the round, perhaps not the day. We've got one left here.
the last and final and not going to be any more round.
Exactly.
I hold in my hand the final envelope.
All right. Our final vehicle in this inaugural game is the Pontiac Aztec Coupe Sport. Craig Cole, Pontiac Aztec Coupe Sport.
Obviously, this is a 2-door Aztec. I mean, everyone's already familiar with that car. But if you guys remember, back when Dr. Eli Schrechter still worked for General Motors, you remember him. He came up through the dealer side of the business before he got involved with product development. He was a big advocate because you go way back into his family's history, back to Austria where he was born, and they were masons. 200, 300, 500 years ago, they were all stone cutters. And then they got into the concrete business, which he brought over to General Motors, as I mentioned just a moment ago, when he was involved in product development. So GM is trying to develop this fun, youthful vehicle that, kids, younger buyers, maybe folks with one child or something, can take, out camping or something. The Aztek. Great idea, right? Well, much like Ford did with the Explorer, they planned on offering a two-door version of the Aztek. Well, I mean, why not? It's just 2 fewer doors. Done. But what Dr. Schrechter was bringing to the table was a unique innovation in that he wanted to get the company moving away from stamped steel. It's heavy, it's difficult to form, and it's got a lot of engineering challenges. So what he was thinking, what if we could cast those body panels out of fiber-reinforced concrete? So it's strong, it's beautiful, easy to form.
And heavier.
And lightweight.
It's hollow core castings, Eric. Don't get down on the cast bodywork just yet. Because, classic Aztek was a solid vehicle. It drove a lot smaller than it was. You add a little weight to that, it's only going to smooth out the ride. And that's what Dr. Schrechter was so proud of, was that feather ride and his cast concrete bodywork. Unfortunately, during GM's first bankruptcy, when he was in the company, he ended up getting booted out because Bush #1, when he denied them the bank loans they were due, decided, we've got to shake things up, hit the curb. So that's the story of the Aztek Coupe, innovative in so many ways, but it didn't quite make it to market because of financial issues.
Okay. All right. Eric, the Pontiac Aztek Coupe Sport.
I know this will be a shock to some who follow the auto industry, but Bob Lutz is involved in yet another new car company. He has bought the rights to Pontiac for $1 as part of his deal to be on the board of GM once again. And
it's a steal.
Yes. And what he said is the Aztek, as a original design, was quite striking. In production, it had its issues until Bob got in and cleaned it up by getting rid of all the body cladding. And one of the things that Bob Lutz understands is trends in the industry. And what he's seen is the Aztek was the first of these 4-door coupe crossover / SUVs, and in it, and the Aztek, since it was the groundbreaker then, and has been followed by things like the BMW X6 and so many other crossovers, coupe crossovers, and the 4-door coupes. Bob has decided the way to relaunch Pontiac is with the Aztek because it is such an iconic Pontiac product, but doing it as a 2-door coupe. So basically, it will have a more rounded shape. It will still be a crossover. It will be 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive with modern updates and things like that. But the Pontiac Aztek Coupe Sport is going to be setting styling trends that will be copied by the Germans and everyone else for years to come. Pontiac, the excitement is back.
Driving excitement. That's hard to beat there, Ben.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
And Luke had a comment. It looks like Eric is going to sneeze from all the bull roar.
Don't get it in your face, Eric.
I hope it wasn't somebody else's shoe.
All right, we have one final contender. His name is Bob Hall.
H-A-U-L.
I don't know if you guys are aware of this, okay? Bob Lutz is an advisor to Danny Bahar at Lotus. You guys aware of that thing?
It's true.
No, it's true. It's true. And he has done a little help for us in my days at the Gilbert and Sullivan Malaysian Car Company that owns Lotus, okay? And we went out drinking once, and Bob had, a few too many Malaysian alcoholic drinks, which really don't exist because they're all Islamic. But he started rambling about how, the Aztek and how he cleaned it up, and it's true. And, Bob will never tell you something that isn't true. and he explained that the other part was to make it a coupe. But he realized it was too big and heavy. So they were going to actually make it they're going to shorten the wheelbase dramatically. So real short wheelbase, 2-seater. And this is what he wanted to do. He wanted to have underneath, it was going to be the sports car, Solstice. It was going to be a Solstice underneath. But they were going to have a turbocharged version of the Colorado 5-cylinder engine in it. Okay. And this was the coupe, and they were all ready to go and everything. And I guess Bob took his medication and then realized that maybe this wasn't such a hot idea after all, and it kind of disappeared. But having said that, the prototype is over in a garage just outside the tech center. So you can break in at night and see it. I'm told it's painted this kind of metallic pus color.
Metallic pus?
Yeah. It's kind of cool. And the matching interior, they didn't make it leather. They made it vinyl so it can make it metallic like a 1970s car. So it matches the exterior perfectly. And no cladding, though. No cladding. And that was going to be the new Pontiac. And they did the Solstice stand. And Bob was really upset when the Solstice came out instead of the Aztec Sport Coupe Sport. So was I.
All right. So, chat room, I'm about to paste it in. Think very thoughtfully. Think thoughtful thoughts, if you will.
Cast concrete, too.
Cast concrete.
Well, if there's going to be lobbying here, let me say on behalf of Eric and I that Craig must not win. Okay? It can be Eric. I don't care. It can
Just
be
not
me,
Craig.
But Craig must not win. It's not who you vote for. It's who you don't vote for that counts.
But it's the Craig Cole Show.
It's the Craig Cole Show.
Doo-doo.
All the more reason. All the more reason. See, he's like Letterman. Letterman has to look better than the guests. The big good thing about Carson and Leno is Leno likes the guests to look better than him. Craig has a lesson to learn, and he hasn't given me a brooch.
Oh, now I understand.
I'm not being pithy.
Why do you want a brooch when you're waiting patiently for a sceptre?
Well, is the scepter better than a brooch?
You can use it ceremonially.
Can I hit Jim with it? Oh, yeah, he can't hit me with a brooch. That wouldn't hurt. Oh, he could poke me with a needle. I got to get this.
Watch out for your eyes.
Have you seen his brooch?
I know. It's okay. I'll be fine.
All right. Does anyone else want to lobby the chat room?
Bob, Augen would be plural. It would be meine Augen.
Ja, natürlich. That's ganz cool.
I think the chat room is going to make the right choice. They always do. They vote for me.
Uh-huh. All right.
All right, Ben, paste that link in.
Here we go. Vote. Vote away.
Vote away.
Vote.
Come on.
Come on. We've got 2 votes.
Oh, yeah.
3 votes for Craig.
Three. Woo!
Come on. Whoa. Now we got 1 for Eric and 1 for Bob. We got 2 for...
Who would vote for
Bob,
Eric?
2 for Eric. 3 for Bob. 2 for Eric.
Oh, dear.
4 for Craig. 3 for Bob. 2 for Eric. Come on. Craig can't win. That's what they tell me.
I'd request all of the people voting for me to please give their votes to Eric.
It's a little too late to do the right thing now.
Here in the...
It's Chicago. You can vote even when you're dead.
What do they say? Vote early and vote often. Right?
Exercise your democratic right.
That's true.
Vote for Craig.
I think we've got all precincts reporting, folks.
Eric never voted.
I didn't feel the need to stuff
I never voted. I never voted. Even Atlas King didn't vote.
He wants to remain neutral, I think. So who cares? Are the polls closed, Ben?
I think the precincts are closed. Craig? Yeah.
By we,
It's
I mean
rigged.
me.
Eric,
Are the
it's rigged.
champions.
It's rigged, Eric. They do the show. It's his show. And it's rigged. It's got to be rigged.
Oh.
All right.
A lot of fans of concrete out there.
What's to not like? It's firm. It's easy to repair, I guess. And
Just don't put salt on it.
yes. There you go. So I think we have a tie, Ben.
Do we? So let's review the rounds.
Round number 1, the Gentleman Coachworks Cigarane.
Cigarone, please.
I carried the day on that one. Round number 2, the
Hintofelcourt.
Or
Or
Hintofelcourt, whatever it is. Bob carried it. He was the
What
leader.
would have happened if I did my Bob Lutz voice for the last one?
Sadly. The Milatel Pawnee, Bob, you carried that one as well.
And
Full term.
no one picked up on the My Little Pony.
My Little Pony.
My Little Pony. My Little Pony. My Little Pony. I thought someone would take...
I said Michelle was involved, didn't
Oh, you did.
That was too subtle for you guys.
That was the little
Frankie.
girl angle. Okay. Okay. I got you.
Wharton Motors Hartel 5VI. Eric
Eric carried the round.
Pontiac Aztec Sport Coupe Sport.
Oh, it shows how well you know the
American
car.
pronunciation, please. Coupe Sport.
Coupe. So we have a tie, 2-2. I think that means I
guess.
won.
Shall we do a tiebreaker round?
Got to be quick.
All right. This is a quick tiebreaker round. We're going to limit it to 30 seconds, but please bear with me while I
Concoct
Come up
something.
with a name.
I have a name, but I've
Okay,
got to
what-
load it off my other computer, and I'll also load a timer on here. So we will cut this out of the podcast, of course.
Of course, you're going to vote for Craig.
Because
on
I
this
have a
one.
20-second timer, that's what you'll have. You will have 20 seconds, and this will be between Bob and Craig.
And
All
big,
right.
Big Retard says, everyone vote for Eric.
I like that. Let me vote for Eric. Atlas will be voting for Eric now.
All right,
Just a
Benjamin.
moment, I have to...
He's putting it into the talking Computron right now.
The electronic brain machine is damaged.
How much do you?
Eric can time it out.
No, I've got the timer.
Or Eric could time it out.
Or Eric could time it out. Why, you want more time?
1 minute. I have a 1 minute countdown.
All right, we'll do a 1-minute countdown, but don't start yet.
Start now?
Hang on, I'm making the poll up.
Well, I'll thank our chat. We got mine_VW. He joined us. Didn't get a chance to say hey. Who else do we have? Who else? Oh, Valley Butcher. Does that mean anything to anyone?
Valley Butcher. Not to me.
But a chatter we haven't had before. We do appreciate that.
All right, are you ready?
What is the varietal of the car, Ben?
And we'll keep going in the same order. I was going to reverse it, but we'll keep going in the same order. This is for the tie. And the car is the Ricard Wagoneer. Ricard Wagoneer.
Ricard.
Wagoneer. Craig, go. 1 minute starts now.
Actually, this car was very inappropriately named because it in fact, was not a wagon. It was a convertible. It was this 4-door convertible built during the early 90s by the Ricard Company out of, was it South Bend, Indiana, Eric? I don't recall. But claim to fame, throttle body injected V6, 90-degree V6, did not have split-pin crankshaft, so it was very uneven firing, very rough-running engine, terrible. This was just a disaster in the history books. The quality was terrible. They would often fall apart before reaching the end of the assembly line even, so Ricardo had some major issues. Just not a solid product. Again, they even got the name wrong. How do you name your product wrong when you spend years developing it? I mean, good question, isn't it, Eric? It's a black spot in the history books of the American-ish automobile industry. And I'm at 4 seconds. 3, 2, and thank you. Vote for Craig.
I've got a call. Excuse me. I have to take this. Bob?
Yes, hello. Hi.
Hello. Please tell me the story of the Ricard Wagoneer.
I'd gladly tell you this story. It's a very famous one. I'm sure everyone knows it. Ricard is a French liqueur manufacturer. They make
Bob
a
wins.
liqueur, an acid-based liqueur called Ricard. And they're now merged with the Pernod people. And what they did, a little known fact, they decided to get into the automobile business. And they thought nothing could be more suitable to promote drinking than to drive. So they came out with the Ricard Wagoneer. It's Ricardo you have there. You added the O. Is it Ricard or Ricardo?
It's Ricard, I'm afraid.
Thank you, because I'd have to change who built it then. Sorry. So they made the Wagoneer, and what happened was they bought the tooling to the old Lark Daytona Wagon Air, which is what the GMC Envoy was really copied after. And all the Studebaker fans in the chat room knew that, and they were screaming and yelling about it, I know. And they used Wagoneer badges that they took off of Jeeps they found. They'd come with a wire and they'd pull it off. They only built a handful of these as special promotional vehicles.
Oh, I'm sorry. You are out of
about
time.
rambling.
Wow. And actually, both of you are wrong. This was designed by Rick Wagner, former GM.
The
chief.
Ricard Wagoneer.
Who's he?
Never heard of the guy.
Who?
Never heard of him.
Chat room,
Did he run
vote.
some company into the ground?
Chat room, vote away. Let's see who's going to take it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Oh. It's devastating.
You can count. Well, since it's not there and I don't have the chat room link up, I am voting for Bob.
We've got 5 votes, 6 votes, 7 counting Eric, for Craig, and 1 vote for Bob. Oh, Bob, I'm sorry.
2 with Eric.
2. Must be a lot of
Oh, that's right, 2.
2, that's right.
So we got 6 for Craig.
6-2.
3.
That's right, 3.
I'm so good at math.
Counting is hard.
So we've got 75%.
I didn't vote for myself.
Oh, so
better vote.
So generous.
Get Atlas.
I don't believe in voting for myself. It's not fair. And otherwise, I vote for Eric.
we now have 78% of the vote for Craig, 22% for Bob. It's slightly more than that because of Eric's vote, but you know what? I'm not good at
hard day for Bob.
You're not good at muth.
Yeah.
Or spelling. Muth or spelling.
Are you in your room doing muth? Methamphetamine?
I think so.
Precisely. All right. I think we have to call it for Craig.
Thank you, chat room. I couldn't have done it without you.
Oh. Got a bunch of Craigophiles.
Great white hope.
There's a reason they call it the Craig.
Horse cocky.
Oh, no.
So, there we go.
Good show, everyone. Bob, you are a strong opponent.
Good hustle.
Just good hustle. Just not strong enough, I'm afraid.
But it does not matter because I had very much fun doing the Roundabout the show today. It is my favorite webcast. Yes. It is has an audience that is probably huge.
Huge. Indeed, it is. They are most honorable. Most
Yes.
honorable.
Unlike myself.
Yes. Well, thank you, chat room, for your support. Mud Monster voted for catheters. Unfortunately, that wasn't a choice, but
Ouch.
Bob can have that one.
Yeah.
I'll pass. This might be a little cold, you know.
All right. Great show, guys. Good hustle. I think we've got it in the can, Ben, as
Yeah.
long as you remember to record.
Oh, how did you like the first run through?
All
Awkward.
right. We got to thank you guys, our panelists. Bob Hall, coming in from California.
Thank you so much, guys.
California.
Twin brother of legend Jim Hall.
As my favorite person on Iron Chef, Dr. Hattori would say, it's always a pleasure.
Thank,
Yes, he would.
thank you,
Yeah,
Bob.
hang on, here we go. You see, it's always a pleasure.
Fujiko-san?
Never saw his mouth.
Yes.
Never saw his mouth. I think the Iron Chef is setting fire to his opponent. Let's see that on the replay.
Oh.
Remember the woman who was the fortune teller, or not the fortune teller? One of the women in Japan. She was known as the East German judge. I never found it. It sounded so good. Maybe because in the Olympics, everybody would be pointing up 9.5, 9.6, 9.9, and the East German puts up 7.6. I don't know. Hey, we need to do an Iron Chef-like show for cars. What do you think?
I agree. In fact, Craig and I have, mostly Craig's idea, I think, we've devised a designer face-off game that we want to play in the future where we describe the game, did the car, and 3 designers are pitted against each other to design that car on the spot. And I think we could use a good Iron Chef-style commentator.
And I could play the part of the chairman and speak Japanese. You could subtitle it.
Yes, that would work well on a
Tonight's
podcast.
secret ingredient is albacore liver.
No, today's secret
fish
drawing
leather
instrument.
for the interior.
Today's drawing implement of
Is
selected
a packet of
ketchup.
ketchup.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, Bob Hall, thank you as always. This is such great fun. We have got to have you on more often.
Thank you, guys.
It's
Appreciate
great.
it. It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
It was a pleasure.
Great, very good times. Eric Tritko, RumbleStrip.net, RumbleStrip on Twitter.
Yes.
IMAXweb.com. Busy for you this week.
Yes, exciting things are happening at IMAX Web. We're expanding, we're growing, and it's going great. 2012 looks awesome.
There you go. Look forward to that.
Hey, can I ask Eric a question? Since now you guys go out and drive cars. Have they let anybody drive the Dart yet?
No.
Okay. Really curious about that one. Really curious.
It's a looker. I like it. I do.
And the Giulietta drives quite nice, so that's why I was curious.
Quite the nice. So, Ben Sanders, we can't have a show without your expertise, technical expertise, and coming up with these crazy, ridiculous names.
Well, shucks.
Milotel Pony. What are you going to have next? You got Milotel Pony. Could you have Poupées inside? No, Poupée Surprise. Poupée Surprise. Is that going to be next week's?
Perhaps.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
Coupe Supri.
Supri. Poupée Supri. Ben, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mei Xiao Meeks.
Mei Hao Mix.
Mei Xiao.
Mei Hao
Meow.
Mix. Meow Mix.
Meow
Meow
Mix.
Mix. Well done. Well
Chinese
done.
car. Chinese car.
Watson's a Whisker Lickens fan, let me tell you.
True.
All right.
An exact copy of a 1961 Dodge Lancer.
Remember, you can watch Roundabout Live every Friday evening starting at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:30 on the West Coast where Bob lives and is.
If you had been here, if you had been watching, you could have made Eric win.
But here comes the Greyhound. There's you pushing Eric off the curb.
Good job. Good
Yeah.
job, you.
Thanks,
Jeez.
guys.
Wow.
Anyway, 3:30 West Coast. We do appreciate you supporting us. And don't forget to check out the rest of the Autoline family of fine programs, including Autoline This Week, Autoline After Hours, and, of course, Autoline Daily. Now, we're on Facebook. You can be friends with us, facebook.com/Roundabout Show. We're also doing the Twitter thing, twitter.com/Roundabout Show. If you never want to miss an action-packed episode, and frankly, who doesn't, you can subscribe. We're on the Zune Marketplace and, of course, iTunes. And we're asking you, on iTunes, please rate us. Give us a rating. It's a star rating, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, I don't know if we've mentioned this before, but, you know, it's always great for us if you can just go on to iTunes, tell the truth. I mean, if you hate us, tell the world.
Yeah.
And we've got a few folks who have.
So don't be timorous.
So just go to that iTunes, do a little search for Roundabout Show or Roundabout. You'll find us. We're not the religious podcast.
That stopped recording years ago.
Yes. But just give us a rating.
And leave a 1 or 2 sentence comment, too,
Yeah.
if you can.
If you can.
Ratings are great. Comments are better.
So, yeah,
Thank you.
much appreciated. That's all I'm going to say.
Water.
That's it. Water and eggs.
Anyway, thanks to all of you out there listening. Please join us again next week as we circle the roundabout. We'll talk to you then.
Now I'm free to see the world.
Great show, guys. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you. I'm appreciate you make it kindness me.
You are very. We must thank you, Halchatarumu.
Hey, one question I want to ask you blokes. The first time I did the show, there was a guy who works with Microsoft who does car stuff.
Yes.
Alex Kirstein.
Yes.
Yeah, is Alex? Can you send me contact for Alex?
Sure.
I just have some questions for him that, believe it or not, don't relate to Microsoft. They relate to this. Well, it is Microsoft in a way.
Exaboxo.
Yes, Xbox.
Red Ring of Death.
No. I've got a nicely set up first generation Xbox, but nicely done. No Red Ring of Death here. But level 150, I'm very happy with that. Ooh, that was fun.
I think I need to go buy an Xbox 360 just so I can play Forza 4.
All right, guys. We got to thank our chat
fantastic.
room here.
Siri, remind me to email Bob Alex Kirstein's information.
I didn't understand you.
Thank you, chat room.
When would you like me to remind you?
Oh, tonight
October
at 9
1957.
You can be reminded at a time, or when you leave or arrive somewhere.
I enjoy
Would
automotive
you like me to
podcasts and
remind
thought I
you?
would try this one.
Tonight
That
at
is-
9 p.m.
Here's your reminder for today at 9 p.m. Shall I create it?
Yes.
8 Central on most of these channels.
I enjoy automotive podcasts and thought I would try this one. That is how it is described. They also call themselves internet journalists.
All right, we got to thank our chatters, starting with Luke Cran breaking the first one here. He's here early. He's here often. He never misses a minute of the action, except when he's, curiously enough, not here. But I'm sure he listens to it downloaded, which you can do
It was
too.
snowing, so he couldn't go for
I
a
know.
run.
Atlas King, we suspect, is Jim Hall. Although we're not
Fascinating.
certain. No, it's Bob. Ben Sanders, of course. Big retard.
That's not me.
No.
Oh, it sounded like you were saying I was.
No, he's below you in the next B. Big retard.
And he's large mentally disabled.
Okay, sorry. Large in scale, slow in abilities.
You are describing me.
Gotta thank Gorski C. He's here every week. He's a regular. Motor City Greek. We've got to have him in the program here at some point. Picked up his card at the Ford event. Met him there. Ford event before the auto show, in fact, last year. So good to see him there.
Could I promote something to our friends in the chat room?
English?
Every once in a while on Xbox Live, we do a multiplayer race which is known as the Hello Kitty Deathmatch Challenge. And this involves Pintos and Bugattis. It's lots of fun. I've sent artwork to the guys at Roundabout.
I know. I have
decided not to use it.
That'll be the artwork this week.
So, can anyone join in this game?
Yes, my gamer tag is original Bob, and if you see me on, just look for Hello Kitty Deathmatch. Challenge doesn't fit, but the requirement is you either run a Bugatti and become one of the Rams, although they are specially and scientifically crippled, or you run a Pinto and have a lot of fun. On Xbox 360 Forza 4.
See, like I said, one more reason I need to get an Xbox.
Damn
we
right.
Gotta thank
need
our
you
chat
there.
room, though. Gotta finish that up. We got HTG.
Okay.
Herman, the German. Hermann der Deutsche. Is that right, Bob?
It's close enough for military work, yep.
Very good. Motor City Greek, mentioned him. Mud Monster, another loyalist. He's a RoAb regular. We appreciate him. One doesn't like apple pie, who is still slogging through. I think he said earlier he was on episode 62 of the history of Roundabout, the Chronicles, the RoAb Chronicles.
He's made it past the road trip.
Indeed he has.
Wow.
One doesn't like apple pie. We got Randy Seck. Rick in Atlanta. He must have just popped in. I haven't seen him.
By the way, do you know how an Englishman who wants to sound like an American pronounces Atlanta? I'm not joking here.
No.
Atlanta. They call it Atlanta. Watch anything that has a Brit doing an American accent. Yes, I'm going to Atlanta. And I've never, ever heard an American say that. Ever.
You know House, the TV show House? Hugh Laurie slipped up once. He was talking about some patient's respiratory condition, infection or something. And he said, but if we don't act now, our patient is going to die of respiratory failure. The only time I've ever heard him make that anglicized something. Who else is left?
After Rick and Atlanta, we have Scott in Cleveland.
Yes, we do. Well, Rick, I was just saying, Rick in Atlanta, haven't seen him here.
That's true.
So I don't know if he just jumped in or if he's a first-timer, but we appreciate it.
Sure. I like that, Randy.
We've got Scott in Cleveland, regular as well.
Where's he from?
The beautiful shores of Lake Erie.
Oh, okay.
At least it's not Detroit. Scott in Cleveland.
What Valley Butcher? What valley?
Yeah, because I want to stay away.
San Fernando? Okay. Yosemite? Mississippi?
Oh, dear.
Oh, yeah. That's a good question.
His name is Dale Metzger. That's why. German for butcher. Hilarious.
Oh, I like it. That's a good one. Pat. I like it. Very, very good. I like it when people show creativity in the names because all too often, hi, I'm Charles, 15, 16. Cool. That's great. Is that when you were born?
Big retard says Hidden Valley. You know Michael Jackson's favorite salad dressing? It's Hidden Valley Ranch.
I thought it was Hidden Valley. No. Sorry. I know damn well. It was Hidden Valley Ranch.
Oh, this is too much fun.
He didn't like it old. He liked it new and fresh.
Oh.
Whoops.
Oh.
Well, thanks, Bob. Goodbye.
Blunk.
Hop around. Oh, God. Thank you, chat room. Thank you for your support. We appreciate it. We just got another chatter, Roundabout 033.
Oh, whoa.
Little late. The show's wrapping up, but...
Hello, 033. I'm glad you came here for your message. I'll tell it to you. The swans fly east in the winter. All right, that'll do it. We'll talk to you guys later.
Climb Mount Nagato.
That's why you drugged the show on. You were waiting for your
Quiet.
Quiet, you.
All right.
All right.
Hey,
Good
wait,
show,
see,
Bob.
Jimmy,
Thank you so much. It's
When you
hilarious.
see Jimmy, ask him about the Fez Squad.
The Fez Squad. I will
Fez
make a note of
Squad.
it.
Ask him about the Fez Squad.
Fez Squad.
Yep. I'll see you guys. Take care. Thanks
Thank
so
you,
much.
Bob. Great job.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Boy. Oh, jeez. And thank you, chat room, again. You are a vital cog in the roundabout machine.